So when you turned pro, like was it like any pressure or like expectation? Because you had a solid amateur career, so it's already hype, an expectation that you're supposed to be even better at the pro level. Like, did you have any like expectations or like any pressure that you was facing?
If I'm thinking back correctly, no, I didn't have no pressure. I just knew I wanted to look good. And my one of my idols was Camacho. He was another southpaw I watched and studied. But he was flashy. And I liked the way he dressed when he came out there for the fight. His attire, it was always flamboyant. And I mimicked my role wear off of him.
What was your mindset like? As a young pro, you're trying to make it in such a crowded boxing scene. What was your mindset like?
My mindset at that time was entertainment.
Hmm.
Always looked at, I'm in here, I'm performing because I watched the older fighters, Sugar Ray Leonard. He was an entertainer. He's boxing, he's fighting, but he's entertaining the crowd. He's selling himself. When Sean Bay used to fight, he wore flamboyant outfits. He was entertaining the crowd. When Mark Johnson fought, he wore nice, flashy outfits. He entertained. And
Hmm.
that's what the crowd want to see. They want to see entertainment. They want to see you come out that ring looking fly and flashy. And all the guys that was coming to the fights were wearing they jewelry, they nice polos, sweatsuits and stuff.
Like from the jump, you was pretty much fighting killers. Like you wasn't fighting no slouches. Like you was fighting them dudes when you first started. Like, so was that like was that by design? Like that's how you wanted it that way?
No, we just wasn't ducking nobody. We fought everybody. When I signed with Don King in 1996, that was my first promoter. Sugar Ray Leonard was my first manager, and he co-managed me with JD Brown. And they said, "Chop, we're gonna get you the fights. Are you gonna fight? Are you gonna pick and choose who you want to fight?" I said, "I want to fight. I'm trying to make money. I want to help my mother. I want to fight." So whenever they say I had a fight, I stayed ready. I took fights on 2 week notice coming up in my career. Right now to this day, but if we got a date, all I need is 3 to 4 weeks to get ready. That's timing wise. My weight is already there. I'm 142 pounds.
What was it like being having Don King as your promoter? He's one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary promoters ever. What was that like?
Well, I appreciate DK, him and the company for everything they done for me. He opened up doors that wasn't there for me to be open, giving me opportunity to become world champion. Not one time, but 2 times. When I won the USBA title, that was my first world title. And then I fought for the WBO title, and I took that fight on a 5 day notice. I wasn't scheduled to fight him, but they needed someone to fill in.
So you had like pretty much all good, good interactions with Don King.
100%. We have no quarrels when it comes to DK.
How was it like being managed by Sugar Ray? We talked about the legend that he is. What was that like having him as a manager?
It was great, man. I learned a lot from Ray, man. And I learned more from Ray on the business side than I learned in the boxing ring because Ray was always business when he stepped out of that building. Out of the gym, it was always about business. When he in the gym, it's gym time. But when he's outside, once he leave the gym, it's all about business. I seen how he conduct himself in meetings. I listened to him talk and how he market himself. And that's what a lot of young fighters don't know how to do. They don't know how to sell themselves, market themselves, so they can get more.
Do you feel like that's one of the problems with you said like some of today's fighters? They don't know how to promote themselves and market themselves.
Correct, yeah, because they looking at boxing as a balanced sport when it come to disrespecting each other, calling each other niggas, and they always want to hold their hands up like they got a gun. They got the finger on the trigger. Boxing ain't about that. It's about entertainment and selling yourself because it's a sport. But don't know companies want to represent no fighters because how they dress, how they carry themselves. They half out here drinking, doing what they want to do in the clubs. You can't get no endorsements from nobody like that.
How were you as far as like in your early days as a pro? You getting all this fame and notoriety, you getting money. Was it easy for you to kind of like stay focused and not like kind of like get distracted by all the things around you?
I'm a very humble fighter, man. And I knew learning from Sugar Ray Leonard and Pernell Whitaker was my mentor also. They talked to me growing up in the pros as I was working my way up in the rankings and becoming a world champion. Ray talked to me. Pernell Whitaker talked to me. Frankie Randall talked to me. Muhammad Ali, he spoke with me before. I talked with Marvin Hagler. I had an opportunity to meet these legendary fighters, and they would give me good knowledge because I asked questions. I wanted to know.
Well, so what was it like, being in the room with those guys? Like they giving you one on one advice about, how to stay on the right path. What was that like for you?
I was in heaven, spawn Pernell Whitaker, spawn Sugar Ray Leonard, spawn Frankie Randall. Man, them three guys right there, I couldn't ask for nothing else. I learned from some of the best, man.
How did you get the nickname Chop Chop? How did that name come about?
Chop Chop came about in Nashville, Tennessee in the Silver Gloves. I went out there, made it to the Nationals, and I was fighting at 65 pounds. We got there, we drove, and all the fighters wanted to check their weight before they go out and eat and get ready for bed because we had to weigh in the next morning. And I got on the scale, I was like 65 pounds and a half or 65 flat. I was right there at weight. So my trainer at that time was Kenny Mallard. And he said, look, you right there on weight. We're going out to eat. You need to eat a salad. Because you eat a salad, it's just pretty much vegetables and drink water. It's going to run right through you. I said, okay, I'm going to have a salad. But you can't watch 20 something kids and keep your eye on everybody, make sure everybody eat right. I had a salad with bacon bits and some cucumbers and cheese on it and sour cream. I had a nice salad. But around the corner, at the next two tables, I was eating other people's food. I had some burgers, some French fries. I had a chocolate sundae. We went to Wendy's. I remember we went to Wendy's, and man, I went from 60. I ate more than what I should have ate because I went from 65 pounds to 75 pounds within the next 12 hours. And when I got on the scale, I weighed 75 pounds. My trainer said, "You chopped that food up. What did you eat?" He said, "Now you got to move up in weight." He said, "I'm gonna call you Chop Chop." And ever since then, Chop Chop been my name.
Did you like that nickname at first, or did you not like it?
Oh, I liked it because Chop Chop. I'm a chop. I moved up in weight, and I fought Danny Ramirez, who's a Hall of Fame fighter. I fought him in the championship. I lost, but I got an opportunity to fight Danny Ramirez, which is a Hall of Fame fighter at 11 years old.
So when they gave you the nickname Chop Chop, that was you pretty much took that and ran with it. Like it was just something that stuck.
That stuck. Chop Chop. I come to chop you up. But no one, they never knew that Chop Chop came from me eating. I like to eat. I chop chop. I chop my food up.